All right, so we've got our pilot drilled. We are ready to go ahead and rough and finish the center bore. So let's go ahead and do that and get that done now. Okay, so we're going to come in and we're going to pick rough. And then it's pretty simple. The geometry we want basically starts here and ends right here. So we'll pick that. We're going to go in and select the library tool. And we're going to pick the 1/2 inch boring bar again. There it is. Got the 1/2 inch boring bar. Let's see here. 75 degree. Really wouldn't matter which one you pick. I'm going to pick the one with the 75 degree insert. It's a little more rigid than what the 55 degree is going to be. Okay. And then we would set our feed rates for whatever they may be for roughing. You know, it might be like 6 thou per rev, and obviously the spindle speed's not going to run up near as fast because we've got to slow things down to bore this. Turn on our coolant. And then we'll type in our comment. Rough bore ID. And our rough parameters, we'll tell it, you know, whatever our depth of cut might be. So maybe like 40 thou for that, and leave the minimum at 20. And then in the lead in, lead out, let's go into that. So lead in, it's coming straight in. I'm good with that. The lead out, it's going down and away from the wall. Now, one thing that you'll notice, it's got this 100 thousandths exit. Sometimes that could be, if depending on how tight of the area you're working in, that could be too much and you might have to shrink that. So I'm actually going to drop that down to only like 20 thou. And that's all, it's just how much it pulls away from the part. So 100 thousandths is more than enough, 20 thou is more than enough in the CNC world. So that should be good. So we'll check mark there, and we will check mark here. And there you see the roughing, and there, like I said, you can see how it's only pulling away 20 thou off the wall. And what that would be is if you're working on a part and the boring bar, you know, you want to use as large a tool as you can for the job. But if you were in a 3/4 inch hole with a 5/8 boring bar and you're coming off the wall 100 thousandths, okay, that's where you're going to have some issues there. So we want it's just a clearance thing. You can shrink that down if you need to. Okay, now we'll do the finish. We're just going to do the same thing. We'll pick the last profile. Check mark. Set our finish feed rate at like 2.5 thou per rev, and everything else real slow. We'll do like 800 max spindle speed. We'll turn on our coolant. We'll give it a comment. ID bore. And then pretty much the only other thing we might need to do is, you know, if this was an issue, we might have to do that. Now it shouldn't be. We might be able to check mark out and see it. So it doesn't have any issues where they're trying to gouge the back wall, but you know, just something to be aware of, that can be shrunk if necessary. So there's our finish, and that concludes the ID work here. So we've got a couple other things we're going to do in the next video. We're going to get rid of all the sharp corners, so we'll take care of those, and then we are also going to part this part off. So we're going to part it off back here. So that's what we'll do next.